Hello, Year 11 and 13 students. We promised at the start of the year that we would let you know when we knew any more information about the summer exams in 2022, and we are now in that position of knowing a little bit more that we can tell you. So in this short presentation, I'm going to run through with you what we now know about summer exams in 2022. One of the key things that the government announced was there will be optional topics and contents in 3 GCSE courses. So for GCSE English Literature, which everyone in Year 11 is taking, the poetry anthology will not be assessed in 2022, and therefore your English Literature qualification will be assessed on Romeo and Juliet and an Inspector Calls, paper 1, and A Christmas Carol and Unseen Poetry for paper 2. For those of you taking GCSE History, Elizabethan England 1558 to 1588 will not be assessed, and your GCSE will therefore be comprised of Crime and Punishment from the year 1000 to the present day, including the Whitechapel unit, American West 1835 to 1890, and Mao's China 1945 to 1976. For GCSE Geography, the Challenges of an Urbanising World topic will not be assessed. That's something you've not been taught yet, and therefore you will be assessed on Hazardous Earth and Development Dynamics. For art and design qualifications, that's GCSE and A-level art and design, and this includes art and design textiles. These qualifications will be assessed on portfolio only with no final exam. So this will be about creating the portfolio and ensuring that that is up to the best possible standard to get the best possible grade. There will not be the usual 5 or 10 hour examination at the end of the year. For every other qualification, so that's everything except for art and design textiles and GCSE English Literature, GCSE History and GCSE Geography, for everything else, you will receive advance notice of the topics which will be on the exam by the 7th of February 2022. That is to say, they will tell you which parts of the specification or syllabus you will be examined on in the summer by February the 7th. What that means is that you will learn the whole spec, you'll learn everything you need to know for your different subjects, but then you will also be able to revise the things that you know are going to come up on the exam, and you won't have to spend time revising stuff that you know is not going to come up on the exam. You won't know the exact questions, but you will know the topics, and the teachers will be able to focus your revision on the topics that they know are going to come up on the exams. We think this is a really good thing because it means that you will learn the full suite of what you need to know for your subjects, but your preparation for the exam can focus only on what you know is going to come up. Formula sheets will also be available in GCSE Mathematics. That means you'll be given a sheet of the formulae that you need to know, and there'll be a revised equation sheet for GCSE Combined Science and for GCSE Physics containing the equations that you need to know. So that means that you won't need to learn so many formulae and equations off by heart for your GCSE Maths, GCSE Combined Science and GCSE Physics, but of course you will need to know what to do with those formulae and what to do with those equations in the exam. So you'll still need to work really hard to make sure that you know what to do with the equations and formulae, even though you won't need to memorize them in quite the same way as you would have done in another year. Okay, the next thing that you'll be very keen to hear about is the grading standard. And Ofqual have announced that the grading standard for 2022 will be set midway between the standard from 2021, when there were quite generous grades awarded through teacher assessed grades, and 2019, which was the last time exams were taken. So your grading standard will be midway between the kind of quite generous grades from 2021 and I guess the relatively more challenging grades from 2019. Students in the current year 10, when they take their GCSEs in 2023, and students in the current year 12, when they take their A-levels in 2023, those standards will be the same as they were in 2019. So that's quite a good kind of compromise. Your grading standards won't be as generous as 2021, but they won't be as harsh as 2019. So you'll be in somewhere in between. It's worth noting, however, that while that is the intention of Qual have announced, the actual grade boundaries for each individual subject will not be set until after exams have been taken in 2022. So only when the chief examiners can see all of the work that candidates have produced will they then be able to set the grade boundaries to produce the right proportion of grades in each subject. So your teachers will not know what the grade boundaries are before you sit your exams, and therefore we are going to need to make some estimates of grades when we're doing your mock exams and so on and so forth, linked to the standards that we've seen. For those of you in the sixth form who are wondering about UCAS predicted grades, we have been advised to use the 2019 standards to determine predicted grades. And the reason for this is that the 2019 standard is the only standard we actually know. So we can use the exam grade boundaries and so on from 2019 to assess the grade that you would have got if you were producing work of the standard that you're producing in 2019. However, UCAS have advised that any students who are borderline should be given the benefit of the doubt. Now, at this point, year 13, I need to remind you that UCAS grades are a teacher's professional judgment of the predicted grade that they think you are most likely to get based on the evidence they have at the moment and the standard that they're aware of from 2019. This is not a negotiation between you and your teachers. It's not something that your parents can intervene with to raise or lower the UCAS predicted grades. It is a teacher's decision, and we just ask, please, that you respect that, you respect their experience and their professionalism in assigning the UCAS predicted grades. Results days have also been announced. So results day for AS, A-level and level 3 qualifications. That's everything that you would normally take in year 13. That will be on Thursday, the 18th of August. And GCSE, CTEC, BTEC and so on that you would take at level 2. Everything you'd normally take in year 11, those results will be released on Thursday, the 25th of August, 2022. This year, the government has also started to make contingency plans in case the pandemic takes an unexpected turn and for whatever reason exams cannot take place yet again for a third year running. Now, we fully anticipate that exams will take place, but I think it's very sensible that the government has finally realised that they need to make some contingency plans. So the plans are at the moment being consulted on, but what is being proposed is that if for any reason the real exams can't go ahead in the summer, then teacher assessed grades will again be used, but these grades will only be based on exam style assessments that students have taken. So that means your mock exams that you will take throughout this year, your kind of formal exams that you will take based on those exam papers, that's the only evidence that will be admissible if real exams are cancelled. Our advice for you then is that you should therefore prepare for mock exams as though they are the real thing, because you never know what might happen. I stood in front of last year's year 11 and told them around this time of year that exams were definitely going ahead because that's what the government had told us, and lo and behold, they were cancelled. So I'm telling you that exams are definitely going ahead because that's what the government is telling us, but that if exams for whatever reason cannot go ahead, I'm telling you now your grades will be based on your mock exams, and therefore it is very sensible for you to try and get the best possible grades you can in your mocks, not only because your final grade may end up being based on them, but also because by putting your best effort into your mocks, you're preparing yourself really well for the summer and giving your teachers a really, really clear idea of what you currently know, what you can currently do, and what you currently don't know, and what you currently can't do. And they'll know that that's the result of your best effort rather than just because you couldn't be bothered to revise. So that summarises what we know so far about your exams, and I will reiterate at this point my exam preparation advice for all of you, illustrated by this beautiful graphic, which is supposed to capture the concept of balance. So you are going to have to work really, really hard this year to get the best possible grades. The grades that you're going to get this year will not be as generous as they were in 2021. So there will be fewer higher grades available to you than there were from the class of 2021. and that means that it's going to be even more competitive for you to try and get those higher grades. You're going to have to do that after 18 months or so of disrupted education. So again, that is a big challenge. And you're going to have perhaps a little bit of additional pressure on you to do well in your mocks, given the contingency planning the government has put in place. So we're not blind to the fact that that's placing additional pressure on you as students. And I want to reiterate the key message here that you need to keep that pressure in balance with your other activities. Make sure you are taking time off. Make sure you're keeping up with your hobbies and extracurricular activities. Make sure you're giving yourself a break. Work really hard, of course, to get the best possible grades that you can, but also ensure that you are looking after yourselves and looking out for each other. And if you're worried about yourself and overworking, or if you're worried about one of your friends and the fact that they seem to be getting into a state of stress, please, please, please talk to us, talk to the Academy about that, so that we can support you and support them to ensure that you get through this year, not only with the best possible grades at the end, but also with your mental and physical health fully intact. This doesn't have to be a choice between one or the other. You can definitely have both, and that is our aim as an academy. Thanks so much for listening. We will update you with any further information as we get it, and I will look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks. Bye.